Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is my Ice Reaper Part 14 LUFENIA. This is Kurasame's LUFENIA mission. This mission is very simple. I start here with my Rude Call, which activates the Diablo summon effect of 50% I think initial BRV up, and then 50% more elemental damage. And for if this is your first time watching the channel, I use Rude a lot, just because he activates both Odin and Diablo summon effects, which is if your HP falls below 80%, then it activates the summon effect. And since Rude increases the limit of your HP, that difference between what is increasing it and what you start with, the game is considering it that now you temporarily, your HP temporarily falls under 80%, so it activates summon. I usually like to do that because it lets me play around with different team compositions and bringing in people that, let's say, I might have not considered, because you're starting to hit harder from the very beginning. And Kurasame's LD does enchant your party with ice. So, aside from enchanting your party, he also inflicts his silver debuff that increases the HP amount of damage taken for the enemies, and also makes them weak, or lowers their resistance to ice. So that makes the fight just super easy. Everybody's normally capping for, like, I think the whole match. Sephiroth, a friend Sephiroth unit, just to continuously delay the enemies, making sure that they don't take turns. And the turn count is pretty tight on this one. It's about 60 turns. They don't have a lot of HP, so it shouldn't be an issue. The only thing with them is that they do have this yellow aura called Weight, where they target themselves, they gain BRV, and then they have a 50% damage reduction aura, and then they also increase the amount of HP damage they deal to you. So that goes away by either allowing them to take a turn, or you can dispel it by launching the boss and doing about 100,000 damage, and now you break the aura. So you can do that. Another thing too is at 79%, 49%, it's like they gain this aura where it reduces the amount of damage taken. They gain BRV, and then you can remove the BRV regeneration just by dealing ice damage. And since the fact that you're enchanting your whole party with ice through Kurasame's LD, that shouldn't be an issue. So that's pretty much it. I think the teams that you can bring here is extremely versatile. I mean, if you bring in Tifa, you can do that, and then you can bring in Cypher too. And then the cool thing about with Cypher is that when you use Cypher ZX, he reduces all BRV damage that the bosses will do to you. So even when they're gonna hit you in that yellow aura called Weight, it's not gonna do anything to you. And then the aura goes away. So you can use Cypher here as well for as a delayer. If you haven't used Cypher, he's decent. He's pretty good. He's, you know, he has fun little mechanics where he becomes kind of like Garland. Once you buff him and then debuff the enemy with certain buffs and debuffs, and then everything he does, he just delays with everything with this whole kit pretty much. You could also bring like Cloud if you're kind of worried about the aura, and you can bring some type of launcher. You can bring Lael. Kais, there's damage boosters as well that you could use, like Paladin Cecil, Garland, yeah, Sarah, and Bart's. There's ice elemental units you could also bring, like Celis. But other than that, I mean, it's a super easy fight. You should have hopefully no issues with this fight. And again, the orb disappears at 79 and then reappears at 49, and after that they just have the orb for the rest of the fight. But even if they had the orb the entire time, it doesn't really matter. I mean, you're delaying these guys the entire match anyway with Garland. And I never really used Kurasame because I don't think I had his EX. I just got his EX. Or his LD, can't remember which one of the two. But here, I mean, it's not necessary to have used Sephiroth. At this point, you can use him whenever. There's no right or wrong time to use them. Just want to make sure. I mean, you can start to see here that their moves are starting to come up. I mean, I would have been able to delay A with Aranea anyway, but now with Sephiroth here, it's just gonna really push their turns all the way back, and then bursting with Garland is just they're never gonna get a turn. Simple as that. You can technically accomplish the same thing, and you could even probably replace Garland with, like, let's say Cloud, using, you know, Blade Beam here would be awesome. You're gonna delay them a lot, and then going into like Cloud's Burst, for example, you're also gonna delay them a shit ton. But other than that, yeah, there's really not too much to say about this fight. It's pretty straightforward. I think the whole match, everybody's capping. So just take into consideration that the only thing is the turn count is pretty low, and if you're allowing them to get into that yellow aura, then you're gonna probably find yourself either not completing it within the turn count, if you're not allowing them to take that turn. So I think that's the thing you have to worry about the most, because I mean, at this point, I would have thought, you know, most players, at least that have been playing the game, have Aranea, for example. At one point, I believe she was like, she was the pinnacle. She was the overpowered player or character. And then before Garland came out, I mean, there was already so much hype. If you also, let's say, for example, didn't get an Aranea, came in later, and Cloud, same thing, you know, using Cloud, I'm pretty sure a lot of players might have Cloud. If you're just entering the game, then that's a different story. I think when you're entering the game at any point in any LUFENIA mission, it's gonna be hit or miss. I mean, normally the characters on the banner are designed to help you with the LUFENIA mission. Like here, you know, pulling on Kurasame helps you, helps reduce, you know, the auras of damage reduction with ice, elemental damage, and enchanting the party. So whoever you have should be hitting harder, and then with his LD debuff, and I mean, you should be pulling for Kurasame anyway. I think for his LD call, it's one of the best in the game. You know, when you're pairing it up with Jack and then Ferris and all this stuff. So especially how Ferris does so many debuffs as well. But other than that, yeah, this is pretty simple. You can see, I mean, the game is pretty much close to being done here. I mean, they have no turn coming up soon. I still have my Diablo summon here. Most of the whole team, actually, yeah, the whole team does have AoE attacks to just keep deleting everybody. And that's all she wrote. I think that even if I didn't have Sephiroth, let's say you would have brought, let's say, like Cloud and Aranea, I think you should have been okay. I think that you could also do like Terra, for example. I mean, Terra's good in just the whole thing. In so many places, it's just, yeah. I think if you're a new player, Terra should probably, Terra and Tifa. So I'm gonna say that again. Tifa and Terra should probably be the two characters that you should have pulled for, to be honest with you. If you came after that, yeah, you're gonna have a little bit of a harder time. Not impossible. It'll take you some time to, you know, build up the characters and catch up. But Onion Knight also is another good mention here. Onion Knight does do ice elemental damage, so very nice to have as well. And then Noel also is a good. He's also a good delayer, really good damage dealer. and Lail here would shine tremendously, just because the amount of damage you're doing on those launches is just insane. The amount of damage he can have your team put out. I mean, I've heard some people say that launching is like almost like a form of cheating in the game, because he uses so much damage. I think that's why I've heard there's videos of like Cloud doing like 4 or 5 mil damage on his burst phase because of his, I think, his launch and stuff like that. Being able to battery him and the team during each launch, and you can pretty much launch on almost, I think, almost every single turn within his burst. If you end up using his blade beam, and then on his following turn, since he gets a free skill use, you go into finishing touch, then you go back to blade beam in his burst, back to finishing touch, and then finishing touch again after that, because again, when you use Cloud's LV, you're always getting that free ability. But I'm not trying to turn this into a Cloud video at all, but yeah, here I just, again, I didn't even have to summon, I just did it just to use it. And I think Aranea is gonna finish here. Yep. So again, I also don't ever, I don't try to get perfect sphere or like spheres for everybody or anything like that. Nobody has, you know, perfect passives either or anything like that, artifact passives. But yeah, super simple, and good luck. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for new content. Also, let me know in the comments section what you think about this mission and who you used to complete it. Check the links in the description for Opera Omnia websites that give you a bunch of helpful information, and I'll see you on the next one.